Hi guys. Hi guys, I'm Daddy Freeze. I'm a bit tired and a bit stressed after yesterday's feeding. Hi guys, I'm Daddy Freeze, convener of the Free the Sheeple movement and leader of the Free Nation in Christ. I greet you and I bring glad tidings. How are you all doing? I've got a very special message. I'm going to try to keep it as short as possible, even though I know it's not easy to keep messages short. And I want to talk about, I want to start by talking about loyalty. And I also want to talk about the Free Nation vision for the future. What is the Free Nation vision for the future, and how can we attain or achieve the vision? Audio is off. Oh, no, audio cannot be off. So, someone said, any update about Pastor Toby, Daddy Freeze? Why didn't you discuss about your close friend? You are a big Maloon, yeah? If I not talk about Pastor Toby, I dedicated at least 3 or 4 different live sessions to it, plus normal video. You are not a good person. Ori buruku tó ń bá yá ẹjà ló máa bá wọn náà jà kú. That unfortunate life wey meet your mama, na so your own life to go there unfortunate. Because it's not like you care. Uselessness wey carry your papa reach where they go for in life. She told Soba, your father and Matt na the same thing. The two of them they rub ground. Bí ẹni ò ṣe kúrò ńlẹ̀ ni bàbá ẹ̀ náà ò ṣe kúrò ńlẹ̀ ni wọ́n náà ò dẹ̀ ní ṣe ò ní kúrò ńlẹ̀. Ilẹ̀ ló máa lẹ̀ dímọ́ tó máa fi ráre wọ̀gbó lọ. How many times have we addressed Pastor Toby on this live? Make I begin ask. Minimum of 5 times. Pastor Toby himself came to this live, even if it was just for 2 minutes. How do you deal with children? Ìyá rẹ lọ gbọ̀nsẹ̀ sórí àtàn ló bí ọ sórí àtàn gbàgbé rẹ síbẹ̀ because ìwọ àti gbọ̀nsẹ̀ kankan náà lẹ́yìn méjèèjì kò sí yàtọ̀. Ìyá rẹ lọ gbọ̀nsẹ̀ sórí àtàn. Let them translate it for you. Ló fi bí ẹ mọ́ gbọ̀nsẹ̀ sórí àtàn ló gbàgbé rẹ sórí àtàn torí ìwọ àti gbọ̀nsẹ̀ kankan náà nìyín. You no talk again. You no talk again. Some people say, Daddy Freeze, why are you so harsh? Because I get results. He's quiet now. They're not born and make it talk again. They're not born and make it talk again. Anybody will be Yoruba, make it explain and give you. Or Moriatan. Ìyá rẹ lọ gbọ̀nsẹ̀ sórí àtàn. Now Yoruba people go fit explain and give you. So anyway, I wanted to do a bit of a biblical session this morning. Sadly, everybody is out the holiday season. I can't get anybody to read Bible for me. So I might have to read Bible myself. Who do I have available? Let me see if I can use Gambia. This season, everybody they busy. Remy where they pick my call steady. She not even pick my call. She will come call me back for late. Say, Daddy Freeze, you need me now after the session is over. Let me try Gambia. Everybody wants to hear about Portable, But the problem is you can never be, you will continue complaining about the state of the economy, about the state of the politics, about the state of unlawful arrests and all that. But until you are ready to do what you need to do, you will continue going down the road you were going down before. Gambia too know the pick call. At work, she don't even respond. At work. Where is Simply Vic? Even if I get mad, I need somebody to bant off today. My mom is not proficient. My mom she can understand, but she can't speak Yoruba very well. But she can understand. But she can't speak Yoruba very well. I need somebody to read Bible for me. Who can? And we're also auditioning new. I'm going to have some people who read during the week, because my former Bible readers during the week are now big babes and they are all busy. Good afternoon, Brother Shukwa. It was so lovely seeing you yesterday at the feeding exercise. There's somebody I've been trying to call. Remito don't respond. She's at work. Needed a read. I need somebody. First of all, you have to be abroad. I have to be able to speak very clear English so that people can understand and hear you well. A lot of people are offering, but I need to be able to be sure. Kel's Essen. Let me try Kel's. I'm just going to give him. I need my standards are very high. You see all the girls who they read Bible for me. That's the standard. Hello, bro.
Hello, Daddy Freed.
Okay. Your voice seems good enough. Let me give you a Bible verse to test you. Exodus chapter 1, verse 8. Exodus chapter 1, verse 8. You have to have two different phones, though. You cannot be shuttling one phone, it will not work. That's another. You have to have another phone or iPad.
Get my other phone.
I have to have a clear. The other guy has clear internet. I'm not just okay. Are you abroad too? No, this blue light no be abroad. The blue light guy no be abroad. Brother, you are not abroad. You are in Nigeria.
Yeah, I can speak good English.
But you are not in abroad.
No, I won't lie. I'm in Nigeria.
That's why your internet is not good. Can you compare it to the other one guys? No vex. You try. And sure you understand what they find now. Someone like Mrs. Linda go sabi read Bible well because her English good. Make I even try them. But she they always stay busy. That's my problem with Miss Linda. That they always stay busy.
Yeah, I'm on Exodus 1:8 right now.
Yes. Let me hear it.
It says, then a new king, to whom Joseph meant nothing, came to power in Egypt.
I like this guy. We'll work today. We're going to work. Hello, baby. You have joined our Bible readers group. This is the first time I'm having a male Bible reader. So if anybody else wants to apply, I knew that you'd be in a meeting, Mrs. Linda. So let us start. It's going to be a mini sermon, but I need to address many things. I'm going to talk a little bit about Bible, a little bit about history, and get to where we are. So let us start with a quick prayer. Heavenly Father, I thank you for giving us the opportunity to gather in your name, and I ask for your mercy and your guidance. Fill us with your wisdom, O Lord. In Yahushua's name I pray. Amen. So we're starting with the first Bible reading, Exodus chapter 1 from verse 8. Start again and please continue reading.
Exodus chapter 1, verse 8.
Yes.
Okay, says, Then a new king, to whom Joseph meant nothing, came to power in Egypt. Luke 9 says, Look, he said to his people, the Israelites have become far too numerous for us. Come, we must deal shrewdly with them, or they will become even more numerous. And if war breaks out, we'll join our enemies and fight against us, and also leave the country. 11. So they put slave masters over them to oppress them with forced labor. And they built Pithom and Ramesses as store cities for Pharaoh. But the more they were oppressed, the more they multiplied and spread. So the Egyptians came to dread the Israelites and worked them ruthlessly. They made their lives bitter with harsh labor in brick and mortar and with all kinds of work in the fields. In all their harsh labor, the Egyptians worked them ruthlessly. 15. The king of Egypt said to the Hebrew midwives, whose names were Shiphrah and
It's okay, bro. So this is how slavery started according to the narrative in Egypt. And if you follow the story, they needed Moses to come and fight for them and set them free. I want you to also go to Jeremiah chapter 25, and I want you to read from I want you to read Jeremiah 25 from verse 1. Jeremiah 25 from verse 1.
Jeremiah 25, 1.
Yes.
Okay, Jeremiah 25 says,
Yes.
the word that came to Jeremiah concerning all the people of Judah in the 4th year of Jehoiakim, the son of Josiah, king of Judah. That was the first year of Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon. The which Jeremiah prophet spake unto the people of Judah and to all the inhabitants of Jerusalem, saying, from the 13th year of Josiah, the son of Ammon, king of Judah, even unto this day, that is the 23rd year, the word of the Lord had come unto me, and I have spoken unto you, rising early and speaking, but ye have not hearkened. 4. And the Lord hath sent unto you all his servants and prophets, rising early and sending them, but ye have not hearkened, nor inclined your ear to hear. They said, turn ye again now, everyone from his evil way, and from the evil of your doings, and dwell in the land that the Lord hath given unto you, and to your fathers forever and ever. And go not after other gods to serve them, and to worship them, and provoke me not to anger with the works of your hands, and I will do you no hurt. 7. Yet ye have not hearkened unto me, saith the Lord, that ye might provoke me to anger with the works of your hands to your own heart. 8. Therefore thus saith the Lord of hosts, because ye have not heard my words, behold, I will send and take all the families of the north, saith the Lord, and Nebuchadnezzar the king of Babylon, my servants, and will bring them against this land, and against the inhabitants thereof, and against all these nations round about, and will utterly destroy them, and make them an astonishment, and an hissing and perpetual desolation. 10. Moreover, I will take from them the voice of mirth, the voice of gladness, the voice of the bridegroom, and the voice of the bride. the sound of the milestones, and the light of the candle. 11. And this whole land shall be a desolation and an astonishment, as these nations shall serve the Lord of Babylon 70 years.
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. So, thank you very much. That's what I need you to read for me today. Thank you. You can go now. Thank you so much. So there are two separate Bible verses, and it shows that the first Bible verse speaks of the Israelites as they went into captivity in Egypt. After Joseph, there was a Pharaoh who did not remember Joseph, and this Pharaoh decided that he was going to do all sorts of things to the people of Israel, and eventually they needed a Moses to get them out. And right after that, there's another story that we just heard. This time it was taken from the book of Jeremiah, when the Israelites became slaves for another 70 years. Just in case you don't understand what 70 years is, I'm 48 years old. So if my father is 70 years old. So if my father was 30 when Israel became went into slavery, I would have been born into slavery, and the only life I would ever know is slavery. So 70 years is like a generation and a half. So you would think that Moses fighting for the people will set the people free. It did for a generation or two. Even the people Moses fought for, none of them tasted out of the freedom. I'm going to read this to you. Numbers 32:13. Numbers 32:13. I'm going to read it myself. I'm reading from the New Living Translation. I really appreciate the gentleman who read for us. That was really so wonderful. Niger Hot Mom, if you are available to read Bible, just type below. Let me know. And the scriptures say, the Lord was angry with Israel and made them wander in the wilderness for 40 years until the entire generation that sinned in the Lord's sight had died. So all those people that were in Egypt before, that they believed Moses was going to set them free, they still buy for wilderness. The problem with looking for a Messiah is if you not buy inside slavery, you go buy for wilderness. Messiah cannot help you. Messiah can help create a situation in which the life of your grandchildren might be better. But the Messiah cannot help you. A human Messiah cannot help you. Let's talk about history. I've given you two biblical examples. They were prisoners or slaves in Egypt. They were slaves under Nebuchadnezzar. Let's go to history. Let's leave the Bible. Let's go to history. We all know, even from the Bible and from history, the Babylonians enslaved the Israelites, and then they invaded Judah and deported most of the citizens to Babylon. However, Cyrus the Great conquered Babylon in 593 BCE, allowing the Judahites to return to their homeland a year later. So, and let's not forget, Alexander the Great captured Palestine and all of the Jerusalem environment. in 332 BCE while traveling to Egypt after the siege of Tyre. Alexander's armies took Jerusalem without difficulty. And Jerusalem and Judea fell under Greek control and Hellenistic influence. This is very clear because the New Testament was first written in Greek. All Christ's sermons were first written in Greek because Alexander the Great conquered. So show now the count. Alexander the Great's conquest of Palestine, Bethlehem, by the way, is a Palestinian city. So when you hear Palestine, it's not today's modern day Palestine or that they are telling you about. Palestine, Christ is from there. But I no be me go use my mouth talking because it cause plenty confusion. So Alexander the Great's conquest of that area was relatively uncomplicated because the Persians' control of the region had already weakened. So they were, before Alexander the Great, somewhat under Persian control, and then they went under Greek control. So make it here: Egyptian, Babylonian, Persian, Greek, and then the Romans now invaded the land of Palestine in 63 BC. The Roman army marched into Jerusalem and took over the city. Very soon, they had control of the entire country, and then the Romans put their own governors in charge to rule the people. So once again, let's count it. And this was when Christ was born. So let's count it: Egypt, Babylonians, Persians, Greek, and then Romans. So the song, this is the way we march along, let my people go. This is the way we march along, let my people go. Go down, go down, go down to Egypt and tell Pharaoh, Pharaoh, let my people go. Pharaoh let the people go, or the people were collected from Pharaoh by force. Nebuchadnezzar still collected the people. Alexander the Great still collected the people. The Romans still collected the people. That is why the Bible was first written in Greek. Christ spoke Hebrew and Aramaic, but the Bible was not written, the New Testament was not written in Hebrew and Aramaic. It was written in Greek and then translated to the language of the Romans, Latin. So here's what I'm here to tell you, just in case you're missing all the points. There is no end to human salvation or to human slavery. You will go from century to century, millennia to millennia, and still find yourself in one form of physical slavery or the other. And then Christ came. Christ never fought the Babylonians. He never fought the Egyptians. As a matter of fact, he grew up a little bit in Egypt. Christ never fought the Persians or the Greeks or the Romans. Who did he fight? His own people. Christ never spoke truth to power when it came to the government, ever. Instead, he spoke truth to power to what controls the people. The government does not come to your house to tell you not to sleep with your wife. The government just makes sure life is hard enough for you. They keep you busy. They make sure the school fees are high. Your taxes are high. You by yourself. Shana, when you they go walk, you they leave your house for 4 a.m. so that you go drive through 2 hours or 3 hours of traffic to get to your office by 8 a.m. and you go close by 8 p.m. in the evening and get home by 11. Now you won't get time to bench your wife. Meanwhile, your government leaders, Not only they don't bench their wife because they are tired of their wives. Their wives are old. Now 22, 23-year-old, now they bench inside that their office. While you are hustling for your daily bread, some of them are sleeping with your daughters, your wives, enjoying everything, living off your sweat. Because now the money where they're supposed to build the road for you, nine them they chop. The money where they're supposed to use build school for you, nine them they chop. The money where they're supposed to build a hospital for you, airport for you, nine them they chop. And when they get the money, that shoe where you know if you buy, give your wife, they go buy it for your wife, bench am. They go buy it for your daughter, arrange am. So the war has never ever really been about the government. It is about what they use to control you. That is why you see your government people and your religious people always together. Because the easiest way for the government to control the people is through religion. When the chains and the shackles of religion are broken, the control of the government is smaller on the people. That's why in the UK they can say their prime minister is a lunatic. I've heard them say it. You're driving, you're listening, and somebody is calling your prime minister. I remember that girl, that woman that went in for like 2 weeks. I was in the UK, I was listening to the radio. I could not believe it. I was listening to a radio, I was like, the way that they drag their prime minister. Because those things that are used to control the people have weakened in the land of the free. And what makes a land free is mindset. It's mindset. So a lot of people think that I'm here to do the job of Moses, to stand up to your government. I don't have any problem with your government, because I know the government thrives because your mind is the way it is. I'm a follower of Christ and a teacher of the gospel. If I set your mind free, no government can trap you. The reason why they are controlling you the way they are controlling you is because they are controlling your mind. The moment your mind is free, but you see, tradition, religion, and culture are some of the biggest mind traps in the world. They prevent you from being a proper judge of your own reality. You see life through religious lenses. Let's take marriage. When is a woman supposed to get married? Biologically is 18. Her body is ripe for marriage and childbearing at 18. Educationally, it's about 24. Because at 24, she's probably done with college, she's worked a little bit. Now, financially, when is she ready for marriage? To be honest, about 28, 30. But which of these parameters do you use to set marriage standards for your children? Is it when they are biologically ready but not financially ready? Or is it when they are biologically ready but not academically ready? Or when they are academically ready but not financially ready? Which of the yardsticks? You will realize that people would say, have your children before 30. I'm not saying it's biologically perfect for a woman to have a children before 30. But my question is, what are the children going to eat? Are you going to grind stone into powder and mix it with water and give them to eat? Society wants your mother, your grandmother, your mother to want to be a grandmother. So I don't allow any of the mothers, mother-in-law, mother, to talk my children into marriage. Never. Because guess what? Imagine my mother-in-law or my mother says, oh, they want to see grandchildren. What's their input going to be in their grandchildren's life? If the child is not ready to have children, it go come become my problem. Because one grandmother wants seeing pikin in grand pikin. Waiting one use the pikin do so he want thick am say I am a grandmother. I and the child will now have to deal with the financial implication of being a grandmother or a great grandmother, the career implication. You don't realize that when you have a child, it robs you. Some women can never work. Some women give up 5 years, some 10 years of their lives to raise children. Okay, when you give up 10 years abroad, the society cushions it for you. In Nigeria, now your parents, so as I did like this, mama bomo, mama bomo, I go to take care of pikin, I go take care of pikin. But when you sit down and you tell them the logic of it, they run around at the sentiments of it. Now, where do you get sentiments from? You get sentiments from culture, from tradition, and from religion. That's why I gave an example over the weekend. There was a time Tastebuds had this business and the business was going through a lot, and she went to meet two people, a pastor and a financial and an accountant. The accountant looked at the projections, looked at the dollar rate, looked at this, looked at and said, sell this business, sell it now. And for a second opinion, Tastebuds went to meet a pastor, and the pastor said, this business shall rise. Dry bones will rise again. If Tastebuds had sold that business, should have walked away with $300,000 to $350,000. Because she chose to wait for dry bones to rise again, she walked away with nothing. Zilch. Zero. And when you think about it and you ask the pastor, so why? Because I had the opportunity to sit down with the pastor later on and ask, why did you give such advice? The pastor said, is it not a good thing to wish for the best? And I'm like, religion is like fairies and gnomes. It works with wishes. We all wish. A prayer is a wish. When your prayer is answered, a wish was granted. A prayer answered is a wish granted. Wishes. If wishes were horses, beggars will ride. But wishes are not horses. You want to ride? You've got to go to the market, buy a horse, buy a saddle, and ride the horse. And countries that do not base their systems on wishes and prayers always tend to be more favored by the God of those who pray. Let me put it down to you in a language you may be able to understand. The Japanese Shintoist who believes in many gods, the same problem that the Israelites got into trouble for having many gods. The Japanese man in Shintoism, there's God of fun, there's God of everything, and their gods are not perfect. The Japanese man fixes his country. But then the God of the Nigerian man who's wishing and praying takes better care of the Japanese who doesn't worship him. I was watching I shared it with PT yesterday. I was watching a documentary about Japan. It said when you go to the iPhone store in Japan, there's no security. and the iPhones are connected only to charger. Literally, you can pick up an iPhone and walk out of the store with it. But they will not do that because they have been trained by society to be trustworthy, to be honest. Nigerian man, as they glue, sometimes they glue that iPhone to something, the Nigerian man go cut them. Not just Nigeria, but many parts of Europe. Because the solution to stealing is not the government. It is the people deciding that this way of life is bad. And no matter how many churches you have on every street, let me tell you, a Japanese girl born into a Japanese home who worships 20 or 30 Japanese gods is more morally upright than a Christian girl born in a Christian home, does night vigil on Friday, goes to church on Sunday, does midweek fellowship on Wednesday, and prays and fasts every day or every other day. That Japanese girl that worships 500 gods or 30 gods is more morally upright. So your God, your religion, your faith cannot even cure decency. We dey watch Portable when he come out. See the accusation wey they make. He say when he first meet the auntie, he arrange him and arrange one of her friends together. And everybody come and dey, ha, ha, ha. Now Portable own we see you. We never read your own. We know Queen Dami, we know Portable. We dey hear their story. We don't know you knew. If to say we know you, Pere, make we hear the kind of atrocities where you they commit. Even you go fear for yourself. So the Free Nation and the Free the Sheeple movement are not a movement that is going to fight the government on your behalf. Government took my property. Government locked me up. I want Peter Obi to be the governor or the president, not these other people. It's not the business of the Free Nation or the Free the Sheeple movement. The only thing I have offered you is redemption from the enslavement of the mind. That's the only thing I can promise you. I can promise to wake you up. And I can promise to help you stay awake. I can help you be self-accountable. But looking at the state of the country, I can tell you for free that it might take 100 years before we get anything done. Because the problem is not the government. The problem is the people. Somebody was standing on the road in the Peace for Entire. And I recorded a video and put it. Everybody who came after me, did the government provide toilets? So if government no provide toilets for you, you no say you suppose cross road, go where gutter dey. If government no provide why for you, sure you go come begin the bench goat. Somebody say a good mentality has nothing to do with religion. Religion is what causes bad mentality. Because you have no self-accountability. Everything is God. When you do well, is God. When you do bad, is God. When you go and meet the Japanese, how come your country is so safe? They will say, because we worked hard, we did this, we did that, we did that. You can't meet the Nigerian. Why is your country bad? It's the devil. Why is this one good? It's God. Where is your self-accountability? God does not interfere in the affairs of men. Men interfere in men. The sooner you started teaching this to your children, oh, God will do it for you, God will do it for you. Have you ever asked yourself, an accident happened, tire burst? I saw one of the influencers said, his tire burst and God saved him. I want to ask you a question. Why did your tire burst? Two things: poor maintenance and bad roads. Poor vehicular maintenance and no Nigerian car, except maybe my brand new cars that I bought brand new, can pass UK MOT. Once you don't drive car for Nigeria for 5 years, no matter you try maintain and reach, if you pass UK MOT. For you to drive a car in the UK, you will spend like 3,000 to 4,000 pounds obtaining a license. You will do many tests. And any small thing like they don't put point for your license, before you know it, you are suspended, you'll not be able to drive. The rate of accidents they have in the UK is small compared to the one they have in Nigeria. Not because God loves the UK more, but because the UK, people in the UK, fix the UK. I remember when I was younger, I used to have a girl in University of Ife, a girlfriend, so I used to go and greet her. So I'll go to the bus park. The driver we won't drive us, as conductor they call passenger, they drink baraga. That's sachet shayo with the inside sachet. In the drink am. He is preparing to drive us long distance. In the UK, you dare not. You dare not drink and drive. You would not. The reason why they have fewer accidents in Japan is not because God loves the Japanese. It's because the Japanese people ensure. But if you see the tires on some cars, then the road. So if you've done your own bit and the government has not fixed the road, your tire will burst. But I can guarantee, even the VIO people, where they chase people because their tire don't expire. One day, one guy cross over, record their tire, the VIO tire don't expire. Weak men leave the affairs of men in the hands of God. Strong men become gods to weak men. I'll take that again. Weak men hand over their affairs to God. And you know what God does? He hands over the solution of those affairs to strong men. So strong men will now become the gods of weak men. What's your prayer point? I need somebody to just random prayer point. Don't try to overthink it. Just give me a prayer point. Anything simple. Somebody should just give me a prayer point. Weak men hand over their affairs to God. God hands over the solution of the affairs of weak men to strong men. Consequently, strong men become the gods of weak men. Because when you ask God for a solution and the solution comes through this person, that person has become your God. I need just ask for something small. No need to be asking for wisdom. I know people now want to sound out that the freeze. Let's break it down basic. I need a new car. Let's say I like the new Lexus LX 600 and I want a bulletproof one for myself. Who's going to answer the question? Who's going to answer the prayer? The Japanese who produced the Lexus? The Dubai people who are going to do the bulletproofing? Or the Canadian people who are going to do the bulletproofing depending on how much money I have? The Japanese people that made the Lexus, do they worship my God? No. The Dubai people at least worship our God, but in a different way. They are Muslims. The Canadians worship no God at all. They are predominantly irreligious. The Japanese are Shintoist and Buddhist. Buddhism has no God. Shintoism has many gods. So I'm sitting down here praying to my God and getting solutions from the godless. Now let me break it down to you. When you work and you have a solution-driven policy, what happens is God will empower you the way God empowered Pharaoh to feed Jacob. Do you want me to take that again? Dele Singh said, how is God now a provider? Is he not? What does he provide? Let's work with Dele Singh's equation. If God is a provider, I want us to work with me. Can we look at the Japanese, the Chinese, the Canadians, and the Nigerians and say in 2024, who has God provided for the most? Has God provided for Nigerians, for Japanese, for the Canadians? To 4 sets of people. List them in the order of God's provision for 2024. I want to hear it. Daily Sings, you write it out. What we can consider provision. The Japanese, the Singaporeans who are Buddhist, they don't believe in your God. Buddhism has no God. Google it, read about it. I did a little bit of research on Buddhism, not much, but I know that there's an atheistic religion. They have no God in Buddhism. While Hinduism and Shintoism are polytheists, meaning they have many gods. So the Buddhist in Singapore, the Buddhist and Shintoist in Japan, the irreligious in Canada, and the godly in Nigeria, in 2024, who did God provide more for? Who had more provision? I want you to answer. I want you to answer. Who did God provide for, or who had more provision? Let's leave God out of it. Who had more provision? Someone said all of them. No. The fact that you have iron ore in the ground. Until you are able to convert it into something usable, it is useless to you. You cannot eat diamond. Until you're able to put it inside a watch or inside a ring, it is useless. Now, let's look at it like this. The Japanese have tsunamis, they have earthquakes. The Canadians have horrible weather, as in really awful weather. But despite the challenges, the Canadians and the Japanese and the Singaporeans are able to produce and provide for themselves. We have amazing weather. We have summer 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. Someone said we survived Ebola and COVID. That's what you think. Because you know why you think you survived Ebola and COVID? Because your population was already young. COVID, they buy the older generation where you not get. Nigerian average life expectancy is 53, I'll be 55 years. Japan is 85. So if COVID, now sickness where they buy people where don't old, where you think say you go attack them more? Those countries where get old people. Number one. Number two, how you know say COVID not buy? All those people wake by between 2020 and now. How you know say no be COVID, long COVID, or after effects of COVID, now buy them? No be church. When person buy, no be church, and they carry and go. Person will just, you've not heard of the sudden buy. No, how do you know? Where do you get your statistics from? In a country that you have no statistics or very little statistics? Who told you that COVID? Do you know how many people me I know? You can begin to mention people where I know where COVID by. My former colleague Dan Foster are one of them. Neighbors. We have no records. Someone said we had access to malaria drugs and our son saved us more. Maybe the malaria drugs, but until you go to Nevada, that's when you see real sun. Nigerian sun is a joke. You don't go to Dubai before. You don't go to Dubai before. When you go to Dubai, you go understand what sun is. This sun for Nigeria na joke. Dubai sun, you know if you waka under, I go burn you. Nevada, you know if you waka inside. So forget this sun. You see, once again, this theory that you brought it, has it been peer reviewed? No. Your grandmother in the village who knows nothing will just wake up one day and say Nigerian sun and they pry the bacteria. Go, man. Go Nevada. So my question now stands. Who provides for the godless? And unless you can prove to me that the godless are doing a worse job than the godly when it comes to provision, then we can argue whether provision comes from God or not. God put Adam in the garden. He said, go and till the ground. And Adam got up and went to do the instruction of his creator. My question for you this afternoon is, how well are you tilling the ground? How well are you tending the garden that was given to you? You are too busy fighting religion that Oyinbo people came and gave you. Do you know this religion is not yours? It's not you were not born Muslim or Christian. These religions were imported into Africa. They are not our indigenous religions. And when they brought these religions, what did they do? They took away your indigenous religions and made it look like idols. Today, give us our idol, they not agree. Come and carry your Jesus, they not agree. The UK that gave Ghana and Nigeria Jesus for free is holding on to the Ghanaian idols that they stole 150 years ago. Fact check me. They stole the Ghanaian idols 150 years ago and gave them free Jesus. Today, the UK have no use for that Jesus. I was watching a documentary. They said the Church of England wants to drop the word church. They want to turn it to community. Someone said, but you are a pastor. The problem with you is your IQ is low. I cannot help you. So the UK people came to Ghana and stole their idols and gave them Jesus. Today, the UK people have no use for that Jesus, but they refuse to release the idols. Finally, they went through a deal earlier on in the year that allowed the Ghanaians to borrow their idols for 3 years. And if they treat the idols well, they can another 3 years. So the Ghanaians can borrow their own idols where the British people steal from them for 6 years. But Jesus is free. He shows you which one is worth what. The Jesus they gave you, they no longer worship. The idols they stole that they told you were bad, they have refused to give you back. Think. The solution to your problem is not agitation. The solution to your problem is not activism. The solution to your problem is not fighting the government. The solution to your problem is waking up from where they tie your mind put. Somebody say, make them no give us. We no value them. We no value the Jesus. We value the idols. Because those idols are worth money. And they are made in gold. Real gold. Jesus na banda. They use doam. Cement and paint. May they give you. When the Ghanaian man creating God, he create inside gold, we get value. When the Igbo man creating God, he mold them inside cement, paint and white paper. Paint. Give you, say make you they pray to them. You they pray to and they answer you. No people who you be. I end my message here. I spoke a little bit about loyalty. In 2025, I'm going to need people who are loyal to the message. The Free Nation is not a feel-good church. The Free Nation is a movement church. A church based on principles and movements. I don't care how you feel. When we preach the truth, if it offends you, that's your business. And I'm sorry to say this, because of what we went through over the last few years, Taste Buds has put so... Yesterday we're having a meeting, and she was like, Daddy Freeze, I'm not going to allow people come close to you again. Because of what we have seen. People come close for all sorts of reasons. No. Right now it's church. I'm not going to have any favorites anymore. You come to church, you work with me. Of course, over the years, there will always be people like Vic, who has stood with us through thick and thin, who will always be our brother. But let us maintain what we are here for. We are not here to be friends. We are here to fight a battle that we might never win. But we need to leave our footprints in the sands of time. This thing will cut me off any time from now. Let me just try to establish what I'm saying. I am more concerned about the movement of mindset liberation over your personal welfare. What have you eaten? What have you drank? Is your wife happy with you? We're going to care about those things, but they're going to be secondary. Oh, the movement is offending me. Before you join the Free Nation, we will tell you our message is offensive. It will offend you. You are going to know. Secondly, our message is not a democracy. It's not up for you to debate. Any day you follow us, reach where the message tire you, you leave. The Free Nation message is not debatable. It is not a democracy. We can decide to vote where we are having our next convention. But when it comes to the hard core message, it is not and can never be a democracy. God bless you.